In this video, I am going to demonstrate how to utilize ThriftCart's Relation Satisfaction module for collecting customer and donor feedback. Customer feedback from those sale transactions processed through ThriftCart's point-of-sale system, and donor feedback from donation pickups scheduled in ThriftCart's pickup scheduling software, or donations dropped off at your back door and recorded in ThriftCart's drop-off donations tracking module. If you come to the left-hand menu here and select Relation Satisfaction, and open up that drop-down menu, and then navigate to RelationRank Templates, it is here that you can build out which questions are going to be automatically texted or emailed to your customers and donors. Let's build out a set of questions to follow up on donations scheduled through the pickup scheduling application. First, we'll want to set a template name. In this case, we'll call it a pickup scheduling survey. Next, we'll want to set the from name, which is a subject line of an emailed survey. You'll also want to set a reply to email. And finally, let us write out the question we want our donor to see. Some examples are listed here on the right-hand side. You might ask, how likely are they to recommend your store to a friend? Or in this case, maybe how likely are they to recommend your pickup service to a friend, or a family member, or a colleague? Let's say, how likely are you to recommend our pickup service to your neighbors? You might also ask, on a scale from 1 to 10, how they would rate the experience with your pickup service that day or the previous day, if your survey is sent out the day after your pickup. In an email, it will be easy for your customers to see that they should select a response from either 1 through 10. But in a text message, you might want to spell this out a little more clearly with verbiage such as this. Reply with a number from 0 as not likely or 10 very likely. Once they answer this question, a second text or email will automatically be sent out with the second question that you select here. Some examples would be, what is the most important reason that you chose this score, whatever that score might have been? Or please tell us the primary reason for that score. Or tell us a bit about why you chose the score, or whatever verbiage you might want. In this next section, you are deciding if to allow these donors to request manager feedback on their comments. You can allow them to request manager feedback no matter the response they gave, in which case you would select all three options here. Or you can choose that only those who did not like your service, the leave it respondents with scores 0 to 6 to request manager follow-up, or those who felt kind of okay with the service, those with scores of 7 to 8 that only they can request manager feedback, or maybe only those who loved your service, scores 9 and 10 that they can request manager feedback. In this case, let's select the first and last options, both those who didn't like the service at all and those who loved it. Next, we set the verbiage for the donor's request for manager feedback depending on the score that they answered. So if they gave a score from 0 to 6, the option here would be that they would like to be contacted by a manager about their experience. Once they have answered the survey, you might want a thank you message to appear, such as the simple, "Thank you for completing our survey." Or you might direct them to a URL on your web page. You could put that URL here. Feel free to upload a logo if you would like. And you could set the font color as well to match your branding, messaging, or logo. For example, in this emailed question, the font choices for answering 0 through 10 are shown in blue. Next, we'll create template. And now that our template is created, pickup scheduling survey, we can set the parameters for the survey. So we'll come to RelationRank Settings. This view is broken into 3 primary sections. The first section is where you can set parameters for your point-of-sale surveys, those sent after sale transactions, to your customers. The second section is to set parameters around surveys sent after a donation pickup service. And the third section is for setting the parameters about surveys to be sent to your donors after a drop-off donation. Let's set up the parameters for surveys sent after a donation pickup. If the donor has given you only their email or only their phone number, then the system will just send out one survey if that option is allowed. Here we will turn on both text messages and emails to be allowed. But you don't necessarily want your donor to receive two surveys if they have given you both their phone number and their email. The system defaults with the email taking priority and the text message not being sent if the donor has given you both an email address and a phone number. However, if you prefer the other way, you can set this option to on, in which case the system will prefer the text message over the email if both are enabled. Next, you can change the time for when this survey is sent off. For example, you can say that a survey is sent off immediately after a pickup is complete, or whatever parameter in this next box is triggered. Or you might want the survey to send 15 minutes after a pickup is complete. Or maybe you want it to send off 24 hours later, however that might be. In this case, we'll say 10 minutes. Next, we will set by what parameter a pickup is considered to be complete. It might be that you send these surveys manually from the office, or maybe you assume that all pickups from a previous day are complete once the next day has begun, in which case you can have these surveys send out the day after pickups are completed. Or the third option would be to have your drivers or dispatchers mark stops as complete throughout the day. Your drivers can do this from their phone in field as they pick up donations to mark that pickup as complete, in which point it would trigger the survey to be sent out, in this case 10 minutes after they mark it as complete. Next, we'll choose the survey template to be sent out. In this case, we'll say our pickup scheduling survey, and we'll save changes. Now that the surveys are activated, let's take a look at where they accumulate in the system for your further review. Here under the RelationRank Responses, you can see all surveys coming in from your customers and your donors, the most recent one shown here on top. This also displays your RelationRank score. This is an industry standard score calculated by taking the high responses, the 9 and 10 responses, and subtracting the low responses, the 0 through 6. Those who respond 7 to 8 fall under this average percentage here, and it indirectly affects your RelationRank score in that if the percentage of this average response increases or decreases, it will directly increase or decrease the percentage of either your high score or your low score, which are both used in calculating the RelationRank. You can then filter these gathered responses by only those who loved your service or your store, those who responded with 9s and 10s, those who felt mediocre about your service or your store, those who responded 7 and 8, or those who did not like your service or your store, those who responded 0 through 6. You can also filter by purchases to see the responses of only your customers, or by only pickup services, or by only drop-off donation services. You can also filter the responses by those who left a comment and those who did not, or those who requested manager feedback, or those who requested manager feedback that still need followed up, requested manager feedback but the follow-up is complete, or did not request manager feedback at all. You can also filter these by date. Maybe you want to show just those responses before a certain date, or just those after a given date. From this view, you can also open up a notes section to record lessons learned or if follow-up was made to a particular donor or customer. Even if they did not request manager follow-up, you could still follow up if you so chose, and can record the notes here by selecting the Contact Customer in Closed Loop. Here we will record how we contacted the customer, maybe by phone, if there was a comment from this conversation. If there had been an issue with the service that they received, you can mark that the issue now has been resolved or not. And if there is any lessons learned, you could record those in here as well. Following are some statistics about the survey. such as how quickly the customer or donor responded after having received the survey, in this case, 27 seconds. You might learn that those who respond more promptly are more passionate about their responses than those who take maybe a day or two to respond. But that might only be able to be told over time. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope that it has been informative. If you have any further questions about enabling the survey module in your account, or setting up survey questions to be emailed or texted to your donors or customers, please don't hesitate to send us an email or give us a call.